Welcome back to the program. So, first and foremost, there was a shooting at Brown University. 2 people were killed. I think the person is still on the loose. So, my thoughts and prayers obviously go out to those folks. And then, of course, there was also an ambush at our military base in Syria in which 2 military officers were killed. So, my thoughts and prayers, of course, go out to the victims there as well. But I'm not going to concentrate and talk about all of that right now. You can get that news elsewhere. I wanted to talk about something else. We are in a situation where we have 30 million illegal aliens that were put into this country in 4 years, okay, from the auto pen. I mean, completely open borders, all that time, unvetted. Hell, there could be suitcase nukes for all we know. People being flown in from every single country around the world, Chinese dissidents coming in, infiltrating through our schools, the Somali sewer rats, so many others that have come into this country. We don't know who they are. They haven't been vetted, how many diseases they could be bringing. I mean, we were invaded with 30 million people in 4 years. And even before that, it wasn't as bad, but even before that, right? So if we're at somewhere around 2.5 million people that have left the country and or been deported, where are we going to be 3 years from now? Even if you can up that to 3 to 4 million people a year, you're still leaving somewhere around 12, 14 million people that we probably won't even be able to get to. Now, the good news. The good news is that the Department of Homeland Security is working with all these different agencies of the federal government, from aviation to the, of course, TSA, and of course you have ICE, right? You have all these different entities that are working. You also have states like Texas and Florida that are using their own National Guard to do their own, roundups in their own states, which of course helps. Louisiana, the governor is doing that. And then of course we have our sweeps, right? We saw DC first. They've been in New York, they've been in Chicago, in New Orleans, they've been in not Nashville, Memphis, and then all over the place, right? Now they're, of course, in Minnesota. They're clearing that out. And, of course, you also have Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, who's also investigating the Somali, swindle, of course, and they're looking into that as well. And then you also have the fact that the Treasury Secretary, about maybe a month ago, put out a thing basically stating that any money that is being sent, wired, whatever, out of the country to hotbeds of illegal immigration, over a certain dollar amount, they're being tracked and they're being surveilled and everything else so that they can find where those illegal aliens are as well. Because if someone's sending money to Honduras and Guatemala and Nicaragua and Mexico, more than likely they're an illegal alien as well. If they're sending money to Somalia, if they're sending money to Africa and wherever, yeah, they definitely are an illegal alien. And so that's what we are working on now. And the good news is that TSA and others are now working with the Department of Homeland Security. And these people at the airports are then being notified to ICE, and they're being deported right there at the airports. TSA is giving airline passenger data to ICE for a deportation push. TSA, several times a week, gives Immigration and Customs Enforcement a list of travelers expected to be passing through their airports. ICE can then match the list against its own database of illegal immigrant people that they've been looking and searching for deportation, and send agents to those airports to detain those people. And they can fly, they certainly can fly, but it's going to be one way, and it's going to be back to wherever they came from. ICE and TSA are both divisions, of course, of Homeland Security, which helps. And then it says, back in February, Secretary Kristi Noem reversed a horrendous Biden-era policy, auto pen policy, that allowed aliens in our country illegally to be flown all around the country and dropped off anywhere in the middle of the night, right? I talked about it in Preserving Liberty, and basically not have them vetted. We don't know if they have diseases. We don't know if they're terrorists. We don't know if they're wanted in their own countries. We don't know if they have suitcase nukes. I mean, if you think about the dangerous situation that our country was put in under the auto pen for 4 years, it's amazing we're still alive, honestly. Because who knows? They could have 7 suitcase nukes, and they could just go off. Los Angeles, New York, Boston, Houston, Phoenix, whatever, Charlotte, boom, all at the same time. I mean, it's pretty sick. It's absolute insanity that this was allowed to go on. I hope to God and I pray to God that we never have a situation like that. But we've got to get moving. And hopefully the TSA is going to help us do that. And then it says, it goes through and it talks about the investigations now that Secretary Bessent is putting forward. Of course, Tom Homan has already said that his top investigators have already come back and said that the majority of the people in the Somali communities are all illegal. They have fake documents. So in other words, they have fraudulent documents, and they are working on going into those neighborhoods, and they are deporting all of those folks, which is wonderful. But they need to go not just there, and they need to go in Dearbornistan, Michigan, which, of course, they have already done as well. They're doing, I guess, Nashville. They're doing, New Orleans right now. New Orleans. And I'm also hearing that they may do a brief, quick sweep in about a month or so into D.C. again, just to make sure that the crime hasn't come back. I'm also hearing that Atlanta, Georgia, could be on the docket in the near future as well, as there are a lot of illegal aliens in the Atlanta area as well. They did North Carolina, right? They did Charlotte. So we're going in, Chicago, of course. We're going into these different areas. Some are friendly. Some are not friendly. Some we have governors that fight us in court and everything else. Of course, we have Portland and everything else. So we're doing what we can, but I think what this administration is doing, essentially, is they're using the tools that other agencies have to help locate where these folks are, especially the ones that already had deportation orders from judges signed off, right? Those are the ones we got to get to first. But like I said in the very beginning, 30 million people have infiltrated and invaded our country in the last 4 years. 30 million. I talk about it in Preserving Liberty. And so even if we kick it up, let's just say we kick it up. I think this year it's going to end somewhere around 2.5, 2.6 million, either self-deported and or were deported, right? So not quite 3 million. Let's just say that we kick it all the way up to 5 million a year, which would be a lot. But let's just say we can do 5 million a year. That's still 15 million. So you add the 2.5, that's only 17.5. What happens to the other 13, 12 million? We didn't even get to them yet. So I'm showing you that because I want you to understand the magnitude of what the assault on our country was in the last 4 years. They did all this on purpose, and they did it in big, big numbers. Now remember, we also have these judicial gnats doing whatever they can to try to save people like Kilmore, Burritos Garcia, and so many others, right? They don't want them deported. They don't want that illegal voter base to go bye-bye. That's what this is all about. That's why they left the borders open to begin with. I used to talk about this all the time. Collateral damage. Well, hell, send 5 million of these illegal aliens into the country. Don't worry about vetting them. Well, sir, what happens if they kill Americans? Well, you know what? We need to stay in power. So if it's going to go out there, if they're going to go and they're going to rape and murder and kill a couple of innocent people, maybe a couple 100,000, maybe the drugs will kill another 200,000-300,000. Who cares? Okay? We're back in power. We need these illegal aliens here in the country because they don't know anything, and we'll get them registered to vote. And guess what? We'll have a permanent majority. The Republicans will never be able to win election. This is their mindset. Okay? This has been their mindset. They don't care about us. They certainly don't even care about their own people. They don't care. It's collateral damage. Bring the people in, as many as possible, and if they go out there and murder and kill and rape Americans, so be it. It's a write-off for our power tick. That's what it is. It's pretty sick. But anyway, I'm glad to see that they are pushing the right direction here through TSA, through Secretary Besant, through Tom Homan, through ICE, DHS, states getting and doing and being involved. But we need more. We need more. We need more. We need more. And we've got to get the most dangerous and corrupt ones out first. But this is going to be a battle. This is going to be a battle. They're going to continue to push back against it. But ICE needs to continue to push back even harder, which I believe they will. So those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.